the results came in, and 2 were like, it's cancer, but it could not be cancer.
Hey.
And then 1 was like, it's cancer. And then the doctor tells me, we are going with the bad news.
That it's cancer.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I was shocked. So I remember those days as an orphan, as having no one to defend me. I would tell God that, God, if I have to give birth and my children have to lack a mother like me, then never give me kids. So I go in, and he's like, 1, 2, and 3. Then me, I'm like, okay, go. And then he tells me, no, go where?
Oh, you're thinking
yes.
1, 2.
Yes, go. And then he's like, no,
go
that
where?
is the number of babies you're carrying.
Oh my God. Greetings, Tuko family. My name is Liliash, and welcome to yet another beautiful episode of Tuko Talks. Today, this very space of ours is amazing, and the interesting thing is her name is Faith, and she lives by faith, because her story is something that I know will make you so happy. And we'll start on a sad note, but we'll have a telenovela kind of ending, because she has a very happy ending for her. And when she reached out to me and told me her story, I said, this for me is an encouragement, and I know for you will be an encouragement. So I will not even preempt the story any further. I will let Faith introduce herself, and then we can carry on. Habari.
Salam.
Such a beautiful lady.
Thank you so much.
I was gonna say young until you told me how your life is, and I was like, you're lying to us. I'm sure even these guys are kind of like, Uongo. Welcome to Tuko Talks.
Thank you so much. So my name is Faith Musoli, born and raised in Kakamega County. I'm a fourth born in a family of 7. Yes. I went to Butere Girls in high school, joined Masinde Muliro University, graduated with a degree in journalism and mass communication in 2014, and currently I'm interning at KBC.
Okay, yes. Nice.
Thank you.
All right. We can start maybe by sharing your story, because I know they don't know. I know a bit about your story, but your story has a lot of encouragement and a lot of hope. And even as I said, you still live by faith. You live by your name.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's start by knowing, how are you married? Are you a mother are you a mother?
So Faith is a mother. A mother of 4.
Yes.
My firstborn is turning 4 years.
Hey.
Almost this month, actually, 26th of this month.
We're coming for birthday.
Thank you. So she'll be turning 4 years this month, and then the triplets are 5 months old. And as I mentioned earlier to you, that I was a very energetic young woman. Actually, I used to play football back in high school. Yeah. And one day, after I had just completed Form 4, I realized that when I walked for long, I could have like a burning sensation in the legs. So I actually didn't realize what it was, and I would actually joke with my sister. Because actually, let me just mention this, that I was orphaned at a very tender age.
I'm sorry.
And my sister actually had to take over everything.
Like the mom.
Like she's been our mother to the 5 of us. Like when our mother died, our last born was like 4 years old. So our sister took over, and she had to bring us up. Like when she got married with the 5 of us.
Sasa hao ndio watoto wangu.
Yes. So how sisi ndo tulikuwa the firstborns kwake. So I would actually joke with her and be like, Karo, when I finish school and get a job, I think I should buy a car so early in life, because I think I'm getting old so fast, because miguu hazitaki kutembea. And then she would be like, okay, if you think so, then it's okay. Then you just have to work hard in life. So the remedy I could use at that time was just to dip my legs in very cold water. And when I dipped them in that cold water, I will get the much relief that I wanted. So I did it again and again whenever I went for a walk, again and again, and I didn't even notice that something was eating me. So that was 2008 actually, when I completed Form 4. Now come 2013. Now I start realizing, no, now even when I dip the legs in the cold water, the pain is not just going away. So I start asking myself, what do I do? Again, I don't want to bother my sister so much.
She has already enough.
Yes, she had enough. So I don't want to bother her a lot at, I'm going through this and this. So I want to do it by myself, because I guess that is the person that she brought me up to be. Like, be that independent person, because I've grown up defending myself and just fighting for myself, and as generally the fighting for herself. Like, if someone hits you out there, you don't have anyone, like you don't have a mother you run to and tell her, Mami, someone has, mtu amenichapa, like hit me and I hit you back. So self-defense. So I grew up that way. So it didn't bother me so much that I should just let Carol know what I was going through at that time.
You'll deal with it yourself.
I deal with it myself. So now I joined campus in 2010. Now after joining campus, now in second year, I realize there is this much pain that is not going away. And now this time round, I can't even walk to school.
And so where's the pain? Is it hapa chini or mguu yote?
The left leg. Now like the left leg, chini mpaka juu, mpaka kwa hip.
Oh no, that's a lot of pain.
Yes.
And
So
you can't walk.
Exactly. So when I'm walking, I feel like my leg is fractured. Like you're walking and then you halt abruptly.
Where?
So I could like now have to look for money and nikuwe napanda boda before when I'm going to school. So again, I don't want to bother my sister. She has so many loans. She's paying my school fees and my siblings' school fees. So I don't have to bother her again. Now what do? I decide now, let me get some money and start selling earrings in school. So I start business in school. So I start selling earrings to my fellow students, and that is how I used to make money now to get fare to school. Now I'm trying to remedy something that is eating me with now getting means of transport. But then again, that is not a solution.
Because you've just shortened the pain.
Yes. So I started moving from one hospital to another. I remember there were misdiagnoses after misdiagnoses. Like I remember there is a time I went to, like there isn't any clinic that I hadn't gone to in Kakamega. I was at Masinde Muliro University. So there wasn't any clinic I hadn't walked in Kakamega. There isn't any lab that I hadn't walked in.
They knew you. Oh,
they knew me like ukiingia, they're like, now what are you testing today? So I remember there is a time I walked into a clinic and they told me you have arthritis. Now you have to start taking arthritis drugs, and you will have to refrain from some certain food or certain types of food because they are not good for an arthritis patient. And remember, I don't have arthritis.
But at that point,
at that point, I don't know. So I have arthritis. So I stopped taking red meat. So I stopped taking a lot that I used to enjoy. Now Faith has arthritis. Faith is now on arthritis drugs. For like a year. Yes. So I take the drugs for almost a year. I realize it's not arthritis. So I'm now in third year. The situation is getting worse, but we just don't know what it is. But now this time, my sister is now aware. Now she's taking care of me. She's helping me move from one hospital to another. I go to another clinic. They tell me, this is malaria. So I'm put on malaria drugs. But now the funny bit of it is, this malaria keeps on coming. Like after every 1 week, I'm taking malaria drugs.
And at that point when you're taking the drugs for arthritis, what were the effects that you are feeling? because unaona kama unakunywa dawa and you're not, kama unaumwa na kichwa and maybe you take Acto, of course kichwa bado itaendelea kukuma because it's medication that's not for that. So how are you feeling? Were you still in the same pain, or was it increasing, or what was the situation at that point?
Now, I guess when you have arthritis, there is some effects on your nerves.
Yeah.
And I guess at that time, there was some, I guess my nerves were not also so much okay, because I could walk and I feel some numbness in my legs, meaning the nerves were not that much okay. So I can say that the drugs used to have some positive effects on me. Now I would be like, it's like, sasa nimepata suluhisho. Yeah. So I could take the drugs again and again, because when I took them, I would feel better.
Oh yeah, so actually unaamini yenyewe niko na arthritis.
Kabisa.
Oh no.
But now again, I realize now I'm having sleepless nights. I can't sleep. I just can't sleep through the pain. So I decide, let me go to a clinic again and take another test. So this doctor tells me, you have malaria. But now malaria keeps on coming and coming and coming. Haishi. Na meza dawa. And funny again, just like arthritis drugs, the malaria drugs will still work. Kwa sababu I would walk into a clinic and they ask me, how are you feeling? And I'm like, joint pains, headache, just tired. But they are symptoms of malaria. So the doctor would be like, okay, you take these malaria drugs and then go take them. See what will happen after some time. After some time, I'm okay. A week later, I'm sick again. So I've completed now 4th year. Now I say, let me move to Nairobi and hustle. So I moved to Nairobi. Moving to Nairobi, the hustling couldn't just happen, because even if I got a job as an intern, I wouldn't go to work. Reason, just walking from town to Upper Hill, it was hectic.
Unachoka, miguu pain.
Na sina hiyo pesa ya boda. Niko na pesa like the fare from home to town. But now I don't have that cash from town to Upper Hill. So I say, let me walk to town, let me walk to Upper Hill. But
to save.
Yes, to save the money. But it couldn't just happen. Then I realized now I have a very, very big problem. So again, I start hopping from one clinic to another. So now there is this time I walked into a clinic in Rongai, and then I meet an orthopedic doctor. And then the orthopedic tells me, go take an x-ray. So I take an x-ray. After taking an x-ray, I bring back the results, and the doctor was, Faith, you have a problem, and you need to act with immense speed.
What? Hapo sa unashtuka kwanza.
Yes. Of course, I was taken aback, and I was like, okay, so what is it?
Is this? Yeah.
And then he tells me, you have a tumor on your pelvic bone.
Oh my God.
Yes.
What? From arthritis to malaria, at least things we can be able to deal with these ones.
Yes.
Anakugonga na shock ya tumor.
Yes. So he tells me, you have you have a tumor on your pelvic bone. But now, like I mentioned to you earlier on, I've grown to be this strong person.
Fighting for yourself.
Fighting for myself. So it didn't hit me that much. Yes. So I was like, I'll get over this.
You are a strong one. hey, that's a strong one.
So I was like, I'll just get over it. So I pick my phone, call my sister. I tell her, Karo, all is not well. I tell her, I have a tumor. And then she tells me, okay, now what we do, you have to act just like the doctor said. So So the doctor recommends that I do a CT scan. So we go to Nairobi West Hospital. We do a CT scan. I take back the results to the doctor. He tells me, you need to do an MRI. I go back to the same hospital. I do an MRI. I bring back the results, and he's like, Faith, start moving.
Things are not okay.
Yes, things are not okay. So I go to Nairobi West Hospital. I get admitted. When I was admitted, because I had to do a walk-in surgery because we didn't have money that time. And I'm told the surgery will cost you 72,000. And we were like, it's okay, that one we can afford. So I walk into the hospital, I get admitted. But now, when I'm admitted at the facility, I get a phone call that Caro has just gotten a road accident and she has lost her right hand.
Oh my God. It gets worse.
It now worsens the situation. Now remember, it's Caro paying my bill. Now I have to be discharged because now I don't have the money. I can't afford to pay Nairobi West Hospital. Now I have to look for a cheaper facility.
And at that time also, we needed to pay for Caro's bill.
Yes. So and remember, she's now the breadwinner.
Yeah.
So I get discharged. I'm taken to Kenyatta Hospital. Again, it's a walk-in surgery. We do everything. We pay the money. Now there they requested we pay 40,000. So I pay the 40,000. After paying the money, I get booked in for a surgery. They tell me, come exactly 6, you should be here. So I walk in, by 6 I was already there. I stay on the line for like from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. And then they come tell me, Faith, we are sorry.
What do you mean?
Yes.
12 hours you've sat in line waiting for a surgery that was to happen at 6 a.m.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Remember, I'm in pain.
Yeah.
So, despite me being in pain, I have to go back home.
Because we have no money to sleep in the hospital.
We have no money to be admitted.
Yeah.
And so I get discharged. I wasn't even admitted because it was a walk-in.
Yeah.
So, I have to go back home and come back later. So the later was the following day. So I go back the following day and they tell me, Faith, you have to start all over again, the process again. Because you ishaenda hivyo. So start all over again. Now, go meet another orthopedic.
What do you mean?
Yes.
Again from the beginning?
Yes.
Oh no, that's too much.
So I have to go again, meet another orthopedic. The orthopedic now will have again to recommend
a surgery
or not.
Yeah.
So I feel like no, I'm really buying so much time, and this situation could just be getting worse. So what do? I decide to start following up the cash so that I be refunded my money. But until now, it's still rotting there.
The 40,000 you paid?
Yes. Yes. So the little money we had again
has gone.
It's lost at KNH.
Because you've not gotten your treatment?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Now, my stepbrother now has to take over because now Caro doesn't have to receive, is not now supposed to receive more of any news about Faith because now she's more of a patient than me. So my stepbrother takes over. I'm very glad that he took over and made sure that I had now the first surgery. Now the first surgery, I say, let me go back home because now the hassle in Nairobi
is too much.
It's too much. And you can imagine walking into a clinic in Nairobi, the consultation fee is not below 2,000 shillings.
It's 3,000, 4,000.
Yes.
Especially you, because you're seeing a specialist.
Yes. You don't just walk into any other.
Doctor.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I go back to Kakamega. And my sister tells me, now my sister is now feeling a little much better. Now she has been discharged. Actually, when we started the process of me getting treatment, seeking treatment, she had just gotten the road accident. But by the time I was going back to Kakamega, it was now like a month plus. And I hadn't even gotten the much help that,
Yeah.
So my sister tells me there is a doctor that I usually see, and he's a very good orthopedic doctor. Let's go there we see if he can help you. So I go there. If you can remember the late Dr. Al-Shula. So I walk into Kakamega Orthopedic Clinic. He had a clinic in Kakamega. So I walk into the clinic. I meet him. And the first thing he tells me, Faith, I want to put you on some medication. And then I was like, no. Then he tells me, why? I told him, Doc, I've taken enough.
You just want to be done.
Yes. A surgery was recommended. And please, that is what I want. Because I was thinking, like, if I started buying medicine again, I had 72,000. 40 is already lost at KNH. I have 32. I don't even know if I start buying this medication, for how long will he recommend that I do take the medication? So what do? I tell him, Doc, I'm not doing any medicines this time round. All you have to do is admit me, do the surgery, I go. And then he was like, so you think you know? If you think you know so much that you can treat yourself, then get out of my facility. Go treat yourself. When I just thought that he was joking, he told me, get out.
Leave.
I can even refund you your money. Get out.
Oh.
So I get out. I walk out, go home. So on our way home, my sister is just telling me, Faith, utafanya nini? Then I'm like, no, Carol, I know what I want. And one thing I realized when I was sick was that it's very good as a patient to just know what is eating you. Because if you don't know what is eating you, you'll end up spending a lot. Because you'll walk into a facility like before, and they tell you, we want to do arthritis test, diabetic test, whatever test, and you're just throwing away your money.
Because tests are expensive.
Yes. So it's just very good to read and know what is eating you, so that when you just walk into that clinic, at least you know what you want. Because I remember I had read so much about what was eating me, and I would even walk into a clinic to see an orthopedic, and he's like, Faith, are you in the medicine field? And I'm like, no. And then he's like, but you know so much about what is eating you. So I would tell someone out there who is sick or who is seeking medication or going through a tough time, like, just know what is eating you at first hand before you even meet that doctor. Know what is eating you. Okay, that was by the way.
Okay, Faith. In this process that you're in, you remember from the first time the orthopedic told you you have a tumor up on your pelvic and you need to act fast. This is more than a month plus.
Yes.
Life is good. What's going on in your mind? Are you thinking, guy, my time is running out?
Yes.
Or are you thinking, what's going on in your mind at this point? Because even you seeking help, even to go to this other doctor in Kakamega Hospital, the one you're saying, who told you to get out. This time you're still buying.
Yes.
And that's a process you're still thinking, I need to get this surgery done from what the first orthopedic told me. So what's going through your mind in all this time?
Now, I'm like, my sister had even now started consoling me, and now, not actually consoling, what's the word? Like, guiding me through and telling me, Faith, if everything goes well and the surgery is done and it turns out to be cancer, you're a strong girl. You can do this. You can fight this. So she's already taking me through the steps of, if you have cancer, and I'm not yet even there, because the process had been so long that we are not even seeing ourselves get there. So I think she realized that I was getting so much traumatized.
Frustrated.
Yes. And so she's like, if it happens that you have cancer, it's not a death sentence.
So the initial doctor did not tell you, he just said it's a tumor. He did not say if it's cancerous or not. He just said it's a tumor.
Yes, because for a tumor to be determined if it's cancerous or not, it has to be excised. It's taken to the lab. The histology has to be done. And now they determine if it's malignant or benign. it has to be excised first. Now I'm in Kakamega. My sister tells me, Faith, you have exhausted all hospitals in Nairobi, so you're not going back. You have to find help here. So go to Dr. Shula and apologize.
Ulimkosea.
Ulikuja na ujuaji ya Nairobi. Relax. Go to Dr. Shula, apologize. So I say, actually, according to the pain that I was going through, I had to humble myself. Go back and tell doc, I'm really, really sorry. I'm sorry, please.
It's the trauma. Maybe it's the trauma.
It's the trauma I'm going through. I can't even imagine that after this surgery, someone would tell me, Faith, you have cancer. Please understand me. So I walk in, and the doc is like, oh, Faith, you're here.
Oh?
Yes, before I even apologize. So, Faith, you're here. And I'm like, yes. Go to the bank, pay the money, then come back, we admit you. We do the surgery in the evening. So, I go to the bank, and something I forgot to mention, like I had gotten so strong, I could just take myself to the hospital, despite the pain I was going through. I would walk into the clinic alone, and the nurses there are like, kwani umejileta?
They are not understanding aje.
Umejileta aje. And I'm like, I've learned in life to just fight for myself. Because if I looked back and said, I wish I had a mother who would bring me here, or I wish I had a dad who would bring me here, and my sister who is there is sick too. So I look at, what do I need? It's the financial support. So that is what I needed. And at least I had the money to walk into a clinic and get treatment. So I walk in, the surgery is done. So after the surgery is done, I sleep in that, I was admitted for like 2 days. So I get discharged. The tumor is now taken for histology. When the tumor was taken for histology, it took like 2 days. The results come back, and the doctor tells me, Faith, you are okay. You don't have cancer.
Oh, thank God.
And then he's like, go home. You are healed. Just like Jesus. Go home, you are healed.
Get up.
Yes.
Go.
So I was like, Doc,
how?
What type of tumor was it? And then I realized we were going back where we were before. Like we were almost going into another disagreement. And then he was like, I told you to go home.
Oh no, but he doesn't want to explain, at least surely.
Yes. So I go home. So going home, I'm like, hey, Caro, God, I just answered our prayers.
It's over.
It's over. But before the over was over, 8 months later, pain zooms in again. The happiness was so much short-lived. So this time round, very, very aggressive. Yes. Again, hospital visits. I start moving from one hospital to another. Now, this time round, it's 2019. Actually, I got married in 2017, 2018, 2017, 2018, around there.
Your husband should not hear this.
So I get my firstborn in 2019. The pregnancy was hectic because that time there is a tumor that is eating me. We don't know which type of tumor it is. I was just told, go home, you're healed. So I'm pregnant, I'm in pain. The pregnancy was so hectic.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but good enough. God saw me through. And I delivered safely, but I couldn't push. So I had to do a CS because of the weak pelvic bone.
Yeah, the pelvic. Yeah, that's a very strong, it plays a strong role in pushing as a mother.
Yes. So I get my firstborn, and all this time, my husband was always there for me. Like, I couldn't sleep through the pain. Like, throughout the night, he would massage me through the night. anikande na maji moto ndio nilale. Now I have given birth. Fast forward, I've given birth. Now the baby is around 2 years. Now Faith starts getting worse now.
The pain, you've just been going through the pain all this time.
Yes, all this time.
Pia Faith, wewe uko na nguvu.
Sasa nilifika mahali
umeshindwa.
Nikasema I'm not going to hospital anymore. I'm tired. Let me just eat healthy and exercise. So I remember one time my husband came and told me, Faith, you have to go seek medication, because as much as you're saying you're not seeing any doctor anymore, it's eating me too, because he has to wake up, go to work and take care of the baby, because that time we were spending so much that we couldn't even afford a house help. So we've exhausted almost all our savings on just moving from one hospital to another, because we were like, let's try our best. And that time I'm jobless, so it's him.
He's doing
everything. And he didn't even want to let my family know, my sister know, or rather my sisters know, that he was financially constrained. So he was like, you're my burden.
I married you.
Yes. So let me carry the cross. So he takes over everything. And now this time round, a friend of us refers us to Dr. Wabomba. Is an orthopedic doctor at KNH, but now to his private clinic. So we start seeing Dr. Wabomba, and Dr. Wabomba is like, Faith, the tumor is regrown, so you have to undergo another surgery. So I remember the doctor booking us at Mpisha Hospital, and I was always concerned, like, Doc, how much could it be?
Much, yeah.
And then he told me, it's just 70,000. Then I said, okay, 70,000 we can afford. So I get booked for surgery. We go to the hospital. Now getting to the hospital, I realize that it was not just 70,000. 70,000 was the doctor's fee. We are told it will be around 140.
Ujeka surgery, medications.
Yes. And if you sleep here, it will even be more. So I tell my husband, we have to go back home. We're not doing this. We don't have the money. Let's go back home. And then he tells me, no, I have some money somewhere. And then I decide now to call Carol and my other sisters, and I tell them, now ni kama sisi tunakwama, so you have to chip in. Yes. So I call them, they chip in, the surgery is done, but I can't sleep at the facility again. I have to go back home. I remember crying throughout the night, trying to reach Dr. Wabomba, and his phone was off. Until 6, I was like in labor pain, moving around the house and crying. And remember, I'm crying and the baby is also crying.
Oh no. Now your husband is here.
Yes.
Saying, which one do?
Yes. Now which one do I take care of? But I really thank God. I can say that I'm married to an angel. That is what I can say. Because throughout this time, my husband was always there for us. And he has always been there for us. Like, we met back in campus. And he had never known me being healthy. And until just the other day. He met me when I was sick. Yes. Cool. And even the friends, some of his friends would be like, what are you doing with this sick girl?
Ni garama tu unajiwekea.
Kwani unajiwekea garama? So, we walk in, we do the surgery. We are now back home. The doctor advises us to take the sample to at least three labs. So we go to Nairobi Hospital, Lancet, and Mpisha.
Those are all very expensive hospitals.
Yes. So we do it, but before that, we again had to do a PET scan to just see how far the tumor had gone. So we get the samples to these 3 labs, and then the doctor tells me, Faith, we shall go with the majority. If it comes that the tumor is cancerous, if Mpisha says the tumor is cancerous, if one says the tumor is cancerous, we'll not go with one.
But if two
says, we go with the 2. Then I was like, okay. Amazingly, the results came in, and 2 were like, it's cancer, but it could not be cancer.
Hey.
And then 1 was like, it's cancer.
It's cancer.
And then the doctor tells me, we are going with the bad news.
That it's cancer.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I was shocked. I remember getting into my room and crying and telling God, why should my daughter be motherless like I was motherless? Why should my daughter be raised by someone else? At least for me, I had a big sister who was there for us. But what about her?
She's the first one.
And I remember before, because I didn't have that good life as a child. Actually, I can say that I was raised in abject poverty. So I remember those days as an orphan, as having no one to defend me. I would tell God that, God, if I have to give birth and my children have to lack a mother like me, then never give me kids. I will not want my kids to go through what I've gone through. Now at that time, I feel like now I should now start getting closer to God. Now I'm not now talking to myself. I'm now telling God, I once told you, you should not give me kids if my kids were to be motherless. But now you gave me kids. Why can't you give me life to take care of them?
So Faith, at this point when you've known you have cancer, the first thing that came to your mind is death.
Yes.
You just knew after cancer it's death.
But I've seen people die of cancer. That's the thing. Because it hits you
so bad. It drains you from 100 completely to 0.
To 0. Then I'm like, God, I only have you. Fight for me. So the doctor recommends that, Faith, you have to start treatment. Now confusion sets in. Bone cancer doesn't respond to chemotherapy. Neither does it work 100% radiotherapy. So what do we do?
What's the other option?
The doctors tell me we have to amputate your leg.
No.
Yes. Like it's the best solution. I remember one day walking into Aga Khan and the doctor told me, I have a friend in India. If you have the money, we can organize. You go. They amputate your leg because that is the best solution.
Faith.
Yes.
What?
So, I go back to Dr. Wabomba because he was also kind of confused. Like, if chemo doesn't work for bone cancer, radiotherapy is not like 100%, and you're still very young, and the tumor is right where your ovaries are. So he was always worried, like, if you go through this treatment, you never give birth again.
Oh, no.
So he tells me, but Faith, at least you have one baby. At least God has given you a child. So what else do you need? You need life to take care of this child. Exactly, that was my thought. So I remember telling the doc, don't worry about me not giving birth. Because at the end of the day, it's God who giveth life. If he gave me this one daughter, he has a reason for everything. He gave me a child, then I turn out to have cancer. He have a reason for everything. Let me go through the treatment. Then after finishing treatment, Mungu pia tu anajua chenye amenipangia.
Though this is treatment aside from, we are not amputating.
Yes.
Tukunywe tu madawa.
Tukunywe madawa. So he referred me to a doctor in Kenech, Dr. Makori. Actually, I'm so grateful for Dr. Wabomba, because when we reached the facility and we realized we didn't have the money, he was like, pay the hospital bill, and then you'll pay me in installments.
Oh.
Yes.
That's very rare.
Very rare.
To find
and very kind of him.
Oh, God bless him.
Yes. So, I go to KNH, I meet Dr. Makori. Now, Dr. Makori refers me to a doctor, kind of forgetting his name, to Dr. Komen at MPSHA. So I meet Dr. Komen, and Dr. Komen is, Faith, you're so young, and the treatment we are going to expose you on
Is a lot.
Is a lot. You have to go through 33 sessions of radiotherapy, and you might not give birth. So find a gyna, let the gyna advise you. I find a gyna tells me, Faith, you have to harvest your eggs. Do you know how costly it is?
Very. You can't see there. I'm shocked. I'm like, eh?
Yes.
It's very expensive.
So I tell the doc, I don't even know where I'll get the money for 33 sessions. So right now, wacha tuweke Mungu mbele. Let me go through the treatment. If God decided that I'll have one child, so be it. But all I need is life to take care of my daughter. So I go back to Dr. Komen. I tell him he has told me this and this, but for me, I'm choosing treatment for now. So I remember now lying on the hospital bed for the first time, and the doctors were like, Faith, get up a little bit. Have you been told you'd never give birth again?
You said yes.
I said yes. We don't want, then they go on, we don't want you to come running here back and forth with papers taking us to court that we never told you this. Then I was like, Doc, just carry on.
I know.
I know what I'm going through. I know what you people are exposing me to, and I'm okay. So I start treatment. I go through treatment. 33 sessions are done.
That's so heavy.
I'm telling you, every session you go, your body changes.
Yeah.
If you had any dark mark on your body, darkens even further. I remember I could finish treatment and then stay around for like 1 hour because I have so much business in the washroom.
Oh no.
The running stomach.
And the puking also.
Yes. So I have to stay around, visit the washrooms. I stay around for like 1 hour, and then now afterwards I can come back home. Remember, I couldn't even use public matatus, public PSV, because of the state I was in. Again, it was costly, paying for taxi every day.
That's an expensive treatment.
So something that I forgot to mention, that now when I had to start the treatment, we didn't have the money, so we had to form WhatsApp groups, and people really came in for us, and I'm really so grateful to my family, my sisters, my friends, my high school classmates, each and everyone that came through for us to just make sure that I had that treatment.
Faith is going to be okay.
Yes. So I finished treatment, and I realized that now my skin, the area of treatment, I'm looking like roasted meat. Yani a very big scar, very raw. Inatoa maji.
Oh no.
Then I would look into the mirror and I'm like, gosh,
What is this?
is this me? And then the doctor tells me, Faith, have this gel. You just be applying around that place, and before you realize it, it will be gone. So I finished the 33 sessions. But before I finish the sessions, I realize the pains is going away. The pains are going away. So one night I remember my husband asking me, gosh, Faye, you're sleeping.
He couldn't believe it.
Yes, because when I'm sleeping, so he is.
And when you're in pain, he's also
In pain. Because I remember before he could massage me from 11 p.m. until 5 a.m. He wakes up and goes to work.
Oh no.
Yes.
That's such a good husband.
Exactly. I'm so grateful. Like, He held my hand.
He stood by you.
Throughout, when people, I remember a very, very close person in my family was like, very, very close, was like, Guy, Fei, Alex amesimama na wewe, na hii ugonjwa yako yote.
You know, normally people would give up. They'd be like, this is too much for
yes.
me. This is a burden. I did not sign up for this.
Yes. So, I finished treatment and I realized pain is going away. Like I can now sleep. There's no pain. A year later, fast forward, I'm like, I came to terms with me not giving birth.
Children, yeah.
Yes. So I'm just there, carelessly, just there.
You know, this my daughter is my daughter.
Yes. That's the end of it. So I had come to terms with me having one child. And I never imagined at whatever point that I would carry a pregnancy. So last year, in April, now the other year, I realized I had missed a period. And then I tell my husband, hiya. Because to me, it was normal. Because after treatment, I realized like they had really fluctuated like completely. And those are some of the side effects I was told that I would see.
It's irregular. It's
yes.
no longer the system that you know.
Yes. They had become so irregular. And to me, it was just a kawaida thing. But now this time round, I realized that I had missed a period. But now it is coming with pain, nausea, some weird things. Then I asked my husband, what could it be? When I should be asking myself actually.
And it's your body.
It's my body. Mimi ndo najua. So he's like, okay. I tell him, if it comes 1st April and I've not had periods, then I'll go buy a test kit.
Oh, that came to your mind. So pregnancy came to your mind.
Yes, now pregnancy now comes to my mind. Because I remember something that I forgot to mention. When I was sick, I visited so many people, and so many people visited me. And they told me, Faith, you need to build your faith in God. That anything that a human being cannot do, God can.
Times 10.
Yes. So I started being so spiritual and close to God. So every time I went to bed, I could go onto my knees, knowing very well that I can't give birth, but I'm telling God, God, give me children. God, open my tubes and bless me with children. At times I could get off my knees and I'm like, am I dreaming?
Like, am I giving God a very hard assignment?
Yes. Is this assignment so hard? Yes. So I could pray and pray and pray until I became this person who couldn't go to bed before I even say a prayer.
The faith was so strong.
The faith was so strong. And I told God, God, I know that you're the father to the fatherless. You've seen me through
so much.
A lot. You've provided for my sister to provide for us. There is nothing that you can do. Fight for me. If at all you fought for me after the treatment, I went back actually, did another PET scan, and the doctors told me, Faith, you are cancer free.
Some relief.
Yes.
After all that, from arthritis.
Yes.
To malaria.
Yes.
And now you're cancer free.
Yes. So the doctor told me you're cancer free. So 1 year later, I realized I had missed a period. So missing a period, I go buy a test kit, and when I do the test, I realized it was so rapid. Like it was not like the first pregnancy. Then I tell my husband, ama niko na twins.
Allah.
Yes. And then we start laughing. Ati we wacha. Because in the first place, the pregnancy just turning positive in the first place, it's weird.
Yeah.
It was weird at that time. So I'm not even believing that I'm pregnant. So I'm waiting to see if the tummy will now start growing. So, first month, second month, third month, now the tummy is now growing. I go to the clinic and the doctors tell me, Faith, now let's go do a scan. So I get in and the doctor is like, Faith, do you like surprises?
Where?
Yes.
Hey, you've had enough surprises, then you want another one.
Then I'm like, yes. And then he tells me, let's count together.
What?
Yes. So I'm like, counting? What are we counting? In fact, let me call Dr. Maina to just come and witness. Maybe I'm seeing my own things. So I go in and he's like 1, 2, and 3. Then me, I'm like, okay, go. And then he tells me, no, go where?
Oh, you're thinking
yes.
1, 2.
Yes, go. And then he's like, no,
go
that
where?
Is the number of babies you're carrying.
Oh my God.
I was surprised.
Truly, he did surprise you.
Yes. And truly, that was a very weird kinda surprise, because in my family, we don't have a history of twins, triplets, leave alone twins. And this is a woman who has gone through cancer treatment,
which is very heavy.
Yes. So how comes she's carrying triplets? And the doctor was, in fact, Dr. Maina is the one who told me to harvest the eggs. Now I'm there. He's witnessing
children,
them telling me
watoto
ni watatu, when he was like, you might not even carry one. Tell me kama huyo si God.
That is, you see those prayers on your knees?
Yes.
He said, I will not bless you once.
Yes.
3 times.
In fact, I had come to terms, my sisters would tell me, sasa wendo utakuwa tu na mtoi mmoja. But right now, I'm the most. Now I'm the one with 4. For them it's 2. Double. That's the work of God.
Yeah, truly.
He works in mysterious ways.
You can never understand.
I can say that he has blessed me triple.
Imagine. We say double yako ni
triple. So, I'm pregnant. Amazingly, this time round I'm carrying 3, but the pregnancy is so smooth.
It's not like the first one. Who was 1?
No.
Wow.
So smooth. Like, I didn't have any complications.
Oh, that's amazing.
The first pregnancy, the one child, it used to feel so heavy on my pelvic bone. But now there are 3, and the weight was not even there. So I carried the pregnancy up to 30 weeks. One evening, I just realized, like, I'm going through so much pain. So I tell my husband, we have to rush to hospital. So we rush to hospital. Getting there, they say, let's do a scan. They do a scan and they tell me, the cervix is closed. So you'll just go back home. And actually, I wanted to come back home because I couldn't just imagine, because I was reading through the time preterm babies stay in hospital, and it was not less than a month. Yeah. So I was like, now who will be with my daughter? So I didn't want to stay in hospital for long. So I get to hospital and they tell me, Faith, you are okay, the cervix is closed, so you have to go home.
Bado.
Yes. But before I get out of the hospital, I see some nurses approaching me and they're like, do you know you're carrying a risk, your pregnancy is a risky pregnancy. We have to get you admitted. So I'm like, okay. They just told me the cervix is closed.
Yeah.
So why do you need to admit me? And then they tell me, no, your pregnancy is a risky pregnancy. So what you have to do, you have to sleep over here. If you sleep well, in the morning we discharge you. So they admit me. My husband leaves the hospital at around 11 p.m. So at 12, I feel like I want to go to the washrooms. So I come down the bed. Just before I make the first step, the water breaks. Yes. So I'm rushed to theater.
Yeah, it's time now.
Yes, I'm rushed to theater. They do the surgery, and the babies come. The babies came at 30 weeks, at 1.4 kgs, 1.5, 1.4, 1.2. So I'm to stay in hospital I stayed in hospital for 35 days. Just expressing milk, feeding the babies. And by the time we were leaving, the babies were, Jabali was around 1.8, Carl 1.7, Archie 1.7. Yes.
All of them are boys.
Yes. Yeah.
What? That's a blessing.
Exactly.
So many things are coming in between. Not only a risky pregnancy, but
yes.
Still, God is not done with you.
And I realized that at the hospital, there are women who had given birth to twins, and one passes on.
Yeah.
But for me,
3.
And they are all there. Alive. And then someone would tell me, even some nurses would come around and they're like, kwani wewe ulizaa watatu wote na unaenda tena nao wote nyumbani?
It was unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. I can say that if you trust in God, if you build your faith in God, the doctors treat and God heals.
Yeah.
The doctors pronounce you barren, God gives you children. If you trust and believe in God, He's a miracle working God.
A triple miracle working God.
Yes.
What faith. You have been through so much.
Yes.
And you've still not given up, and you're still smiling. You know, every time I do a story and I see someone with the smile and the energy, I say, wow. Because it's not your power. It cannot be you.
It can't. Yes, and I remember I shared this story before to someone, and people were like, but why is she smiling?
Yeah.
And we are crying. Let me tell you, I've cried a lot.
You've cried enough.
I've cried enough. God has given me that smile. God has put that smile on my face. Why should I look like my problems?
I love that. I always say that when I wake up, I know I have no money. I ask myself, these people should not know what I'm going through.
Yes.
I should never look like my problems.
I should never look like my problems. And even when I was fighting cancer that time, like I would meet someone who is like, Faith is okay, but deep down, I'm in pain. Deep down, I look so strong. I admit myself, but ndani yangu, I'm fighting so many demons. But why shouldn't I live the moment I'm in? Right now, I don't have cancer. I'm testifying to someone.
Yeah.
I'm encouraging someone. Why should I now frown
and
tell someone like, don't give up?
No, it should be.
Just go through it because there is a God. I have that smile on my face because God has done it for me. And if at all I had cancer today, then I would be like, oh my God, Kenyans, I'm going through a lot. Please help me. I'm going through a lot. I'm fighting cancer. That one is understandable. But God has fought for me. I have to put a smile on that someone who is saying like there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Would I put a smile on someone's face with a frown on my face? No. So that is why I keep that smile, because that is what God has done for me. I cannot be testifying what God has done for me with a frown on my face. I cannot inspire someone and someone would be like, but why has God done this so much for her? Why has she come to inspire us? And she looks so sad.
She's not happy.
She's not even happy. She's not even smiling. So why would I even be seated here with you, telling you this story when I'm still feeling like...
You're sad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned to you earlier, I'm jobless. And my husband is doing it single-handedly. And you realize that through the treatment, we had to do so much, even getting into loans and just chipping so much into my treatment. So it has not been easy.
Of course. Cancer treatment is not easy.
Now getting blessed with the triplets and realizing that one jumbo pack of diapers that one baby, our firstborn, would do for 1 month gets used within 1 week.
And it's expensive.
Yes.
Diapers are not cheap.
And the baby do consume like 2 tins of naan in a day. Like at times you sit back and you're like, I can't do this. There is a time I tried to win them. I'm telling you, we didn't sleep. Like I said, let me just do a little spoon of... Actually, I gave them yogurt. I was like, let me give them 2 spoons of yogurt. Tuone if we can win them so that we stop buying this naan, because it's taking a toll on us.
Expensive.
Yes, we didn't sleep. The babies cried. The babies cried. And now it's not just one. Huyu analia. Hapo sasa ndo you know that when they cry together. They cried like simultaneously, and no one is keeping quiet.
It's a whole choir in the house.
Like, yes, it's a whole choir in the house. So my plea to anyone watching me, that I'm a very, very hardworking human being. I hold a degree in journalism and mass communication. I'm a very passionate writer. I've freelanced with the Daily Nation, the Standard, but I've not been lucky to get a job. And right now I can't say that I can want to have a full-time job because of the babies.
Yeah.
But I would want, again, I'm a very passionate business person. I would want to self-employ myself. I would want a long-term solution that if someone gave me 10,000 today, right now, within 1 hour, I will not have even a cent.
Yeah.
If I walk into a shop and buy like 5 tins of naan, imagine it's done.
Okay. Hata hujaongeza diapers.
Hata sijaongeza diapers. And someone, but I gave her 10,000 just the other day.
You need something sustainable.
I need something sustainable. I need something that would even help me raise the kids comfortably. Like for me right now, like you seated here, I'm telling you right now, I don't have a house girl. I'm staying with my niece. The moment a house girl gets into this house and she sees 3 children, 3 babies, and they cry together. And at times it's just funny how a house girl walks in and coincidentally they start crying, all of them. And do you know what happens next? A house girl, I wake up in the morning, amenisimamia ananiambia ati unless we are 2 naenda. Then I'm like,
how
but
can
now
I afford that?
How can I even get the money to pay 2 house helps? So I'm actually appealing to someone who'd see my story, feel touched by my story, and would want to help Faith get self-employed. Yeah, get self-employed. That's actually what I would...
That would be the best for you.
That would be the best for me. Or if you can give me a part-time job, yes, then it would be better for me.
I think, as you said, you've done journalism, you're very eloquent. You spoke and thought the interview, you've not stuttered, you've not stopped. So you're good at what that craft is. So I do pray that you will get something. Because honestly, even before we started, and I was telling you, how is it having 3 children? When one has a cold, all of them have.
Yes.
That's also an extra expense to the naan, to the diapers.
Yes.
You know, it's a lot also on you emotionally. And if you think about the fact that I need to take care of these children and I cannot keep straining my husband,
Yes.
it also brings you, it takes a toll on you.
Yes.
And we don't want that for Faith. Faith has been through enough. Faith needs now to just breathe out and just live life as an amazing mother of 4. I'm still in shock that you're a mother of 4. And I think and I pray that's the thing that will happen for you. And I really want to thank you, Faith, because honestly, your name does not at even one point betray you.
Thank you.
You've lived with so much faith. Because like you said, when you were diagnosed the first time and you're told it's cancerous, the first thing you thought of is death. That's what everybody, you hear cancer, you know, bas, ni evil. But you said, no, I'll keep going. They told you, with this, children, wacha, iwezi. But not only 1, but 3. Now even just say 4, because even the other one is a blessing to have a child even from the beginning. So I applaud you and I thank God for you. And I thank you for coming on here and letting us understand the power of God, the power of faith, and just to encourage someone and telling them. Someone could be sleeping there at home watching this on YouTube and they're saying, I have ticking time bomb. I'm about to go because I've been diagnosed with cancer. But no, that's not what faith is telling us. That's not what God has said faith to tell us. God has said faith to tell us there's more to life. There's so much more for you. So Faith, as you've said, you're looking for a job part-time, which is very understandable because with the 3 children, you need to be very present. And you've also said, if not that, then you're willing to do your own business so that you can support your husband in raising this beautiful family. So how can they reach you, Faith?
My number is 0718 90 90 24. 0718 90 90 24. And something else that I forgot to mention, I need to thank 1, 2, 3 people.
By all means.
Yeah. So I would, when I first shared my story, there are a few people that came on board. I would like to thank Sophie, Pauline, if I can mention names, Sophie, Pauline, Harriet, Wakesho. They've actually helped me. Like, if you open that drawer over there, it's full of naan.
Oh, wow.
And they bought me some few naans, like naan. Like, it has helped me for like a month.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yes.
Mingi.
Yes. So, I would really, really, really want to thank them so much. For like a month, I haven't strained that much to buy milk for my babies, courtesy of the few names that I've mentioned and any other person that I haven't mentioned. I'm so grateful in whichever way that they came through. But as I said earlier on, I can't live through hand to mouth.
Yeah.
So I would, yes, I would like to have a long-term solution. And then another thing, I have a YouTube channel where I do content with children. And I'm hoping that with time it will grow so that we start being monetized. Yeah. But meanwhile, maybe my fans are not getting what they want to see Faith do because, as I mentioned earlier on, I don't have a house help. So I can't get out there
to create content.
Yes, to get the content that they would want to see on my channel. But I'm so grateful for them, for the love that they're showing me, and the just them following me and liking my content. It just means a lot to me because I'm one person who didn't grow with that much love. So when I see strangers showing me that love, it really means a lot to me. And I'm so grateful, and just urging anyone who would watch my story, please subscribe to my channel.
Please tell us your channel so that we can start telling people subscribe.
Faith Msoli, just like that.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll make sure we put the link there for people to be able to reach the channel directly without even going through so much hassle. And again, I really want to thank you for coming here and sharing your story. It's amazing. I've gone here feeling very much encouraged, because when it comes to things to do with children, it's usually such a touchy story for ladies and for women. But you've come here and you've been so open. It's not something easy to come and say, talk about all that, but I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your story, and I pray, Faith, that we can keep living in this faith, and that one day you will come back on here and tell me, I have another story to tell you. Because there's another testimony I have to give.
Yes.
And that's my prayer for you, Faith.
Thank
for
you.
For you and your family.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Guys, this is, man, Faith has such an amazing story. I didn't even want it to end. I kept saying, oh my God. It was an oh my God to an oh my God. And again, I think this is another story yet that we've been encouraged, and it's just to be told and to be made to understand that the power of God still will never cease to amaze us. So you on there who's sitting and thinking it's the end, no. There's so much more ahead for you. And all you need to do is reach out to that one being that will just come through for you. Human beings may tell you everything and actually tell you what they think, but the power remains with God, and that's it. So for you who's there feeling like it's over, be encouraged through this story. And for you who's there who equally has the same story, let's create positivity. You know the thing, squeezy news to now chingy, it's death after killing. So I think it's good we create positivity around each other. So if you're there and you also equally have a positive story, reach out to us. Let's share this. Let's make people feel like there's more to life than this sadness that is all gloomy on top of us. So yeah, Faith, again, asante sana.
Karibu.
And to you, our viewers, thank you very much for being with us throughout this whole episode. My name is Lily Aisha, and until next time, please do remember to subscribe to our channel, and also subscribe to Faith's channel, because through that subscription, she gets monetized, and guess what? Baby gets milk. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your time. My name is Lily Aisha. Bye.